I'm in Houston, Texas with thousands and thousands of pro-lifers. They're protesting a Planned Parenthood abortion mill being built in their backyard. As a matter of fact, it's the second largest abortion mill in the world, second only to China. These people have a message for Planned Parenthood. It's this: we don't want your abortions. We want to choose life for our babies. Stay with us. Matt Lockett and Leah Nelson are leaders of Bound for Life, a grassroots pro-life movement. They've joined forces with a group, The Call, to mobilize a prayerful protest against the giant Planned Parenthood abortion facility being built in the heart of Houston, Texas. The event took place on January 17 and 18. It involved over 10,000 pro-lifers, largely from neighborhoods in the shadow of the Planned Parenthood Abortion Supercenter. They took part in a prayer gathering and silent march to protest the new building. As a citizen of Houston, Leah was shocked and angered when she discovered the biggest abortion facility in the Western Hemisphere was being built in her hometown.
The largest abortion clinic in the nation, second only to China, is being built here in the Houston area. And once we began trying to spread the word about this, particularly to churches, shockingly enough, no one knew anything about it, and it is to open within 90 days. So we feel an urgency, obviously, to spread awareness and to let people feel like there's something that we have an opinion about this. The truth is that as Christians, we're very offended, and we do not want our city to be known as the capital of abortion.
Well, Matt, tell me a little bit about the facility itself.
It's a 6-story building. They've converted this, they're turning it into this abortion facility, and literally it looks like an Aztec temple from, long ago that was used for human sacrifice, but today it's sort of the sanitized version of that. But 6 stories, but the entire 3rd floor of this facility is being built as an ambulatory surgical center. That's because in 2003, Texas passed a state law restraining late-term abortion, which is anything after 15.5 weeks, saying that you can't do it unless it's in an ambulatory surgical center, and none of Planned Parenthood's facilities were up to that par.
So it'll be specializing in late-term abortion?
Especially, the entire 3rd floor is designed for that purpose.
What's the total square footage overall?
The entire building total is 78,000 square feet. And that's the thing that's so staggering, and I think to people in the church, when they hear this, they're like, oh my gosh, this is larger than the Walmart in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And really, it's designed for that purpose. We've been talking about it, calling it an abortion supercenter, but really we're talking about moving abortion and expanding it and selling it in wholesale levels.
Matt, what do you think the impact on the abortion industry will be to have them successfully building these mega abortion facilities around the country?
I think if they can successfully move the entire industry in this direction where they can consolidate their efforts and increase their profitability and have a wider reach a further reach into communities, their profit margins go up. It's less overhead, in a sense that you don't have many facilities that you're having to do. You can consolidate and get things down, and then again, if you figure in a bailout of government dollars, then what we're hearing is that we could lead to the greatest expansion of the abortion industry since 1973.
Well, tell me what the next 2 days will have as far as what you're organizing and what you hope to accomplish.
Yeah, there's 2 aspects to it. January 17th, Sunday evening from 6 to 11 p.m., we are having a united prayer gathering where we've invited every church in the city and in the region, every pastor that we could get in and speak with. We're inviting everyone from every walk of life to come and join together in united prayer, really an evening of repentance and activation, crying out for God to intervene. And we are rallying a march through one of the minority neighborhoods that are surrounding this facility, and simultaneously we're going to be wearing the red life tape, which is what Bound for Life is known for, to do what we call a silent siege, which is to stand and identify with the silence of the unborn, and we stand in silent prayer. And so we're believing that 10, 100,000 or more people are going to participate in these 2 days.
You think you can get that many?
If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have probably had a little bead of sweat come off my brow. But today, I think yes, I think there's going to be more than that.
Coming up, we'll learn how the location of the new facility perfectly aligns with Planned Parenthood's eugenic agenda.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.
Arnold Culbreath is the Urban Outreach Director for Protecting Black Life. He works to educate the African American community about the issue of black genocide in relation to abortion. The new Abortion Supercenter in Houston, Texas is located between two major universities and in the center of 4 minority neighborhoods. I sat down with Arnold to talk about how the center's location is in direct alignment with Planned Parenthood's agenda of targeting minorities.
It is located in the middle of 4 what's called super neighborhoods. 3 of them are 80+% Hispanic, and 1 of them is 80+% Black, which clearly looks to many of us across the country to fall right in line with Planned Parenthood's racist eugenic agenda.
Tell me how you think Planned Parenthood locating an abortion facility in the middle of minority neighborhoods is conducive with their strategy or goals for America.
Well, based on research, 62.5% of Planned Parenthood's facilities, that's roughly 2 out of every 3 Planned Parenthood in the United States, are located in Black communities. And when you add the Hispanic community, the number jumps to 76%. That's 3/4 of their facilities are in minority neighborhoods.
Well, what's your role in making sure that the Black community finds out what their true agenda is?
Well, what Protecting Black Life's focus is, Protecting Black Life is the urban outreach arm of Life Issues Institute. And our focus is education. I believe education is power. And when people have the information, they can then make accurate decisions, and they can make decisions that best benefit them. And I can count on one hand, Brad, the number of people that have heard a level-headed, calm, fact-based presentation around the facts and devastation of abortion who went away saying they still believe that abortion's a good thing.
Like Arnold, Yesenia Basas has a passion for educating minority communities about the agenda of the abortion industry. At age 16, Yesenia found out she was pregnant. Uninformed and believing she had no other options, she elected to have an abortion. After years of depression and guilt, she sought healing within the pro-life movement. Yesenia is now the director of a crisis pregnancy clinic with Heartbeat of Miami, Florida. She has seen the strong efforts of the abortion industry in targeting the Hispanic community and is determined to share the truth about abortion with those in her community.
Personally, that's what set me free, understanding and knowing that what took place in my life was such an injustice. It was someone preying on the naive innocence of a young girl that didn't have any other options.
So do you feel that you were victimized by the abortion industry?
Absolutely. And that's why I believe I'm so passionate and informing young women that there are other options, that abortion is absolutely not the only alternative. I wish I would have been able to be given the opportunity to see my baby, to know that was a life and not a blob of tissue.
Do you find that still memories come back to haunt after all this time?
I believe that there is healing, yet the memory is always there. I work with post-abortive women every day, and I see the pain that they're going through. And it's a decision that will definitely be with you for the rest of your life.
Are you saying that there's hope and healing after abortion?
There's definitely hope and healing, but that doesn't remove the memory.
Reverend Samuel Rodriguez is the president of the National Hispanic Christian Leadership Conference. I caught up with him after the silent march in Houston to talk about the devastating effects the abortion industry has had on the Hispanic community. But he seems optimistic more and more people are becoming aware of and fighting this reality. Tell me, as a Hispanic, what this means to you to see the largest abortion mill in the Western Hemisphere located in a predominantly Hispanic area.
It is the embodiment of discrimination, racism, and of course, racial cleansing. For Planned Parenthood to specifically target Latino neighborhoods, there's a message conveyed here, without a doubt. They want more Latino abortions. Why the fear? Why are we so concerned, speaking in respect to Planned Parenthood and abortion institutions of the same kindred inclination? Why the fear? Hispanics must mobilize. We understand via Pew Research that Hispanics are committed to a pro-life agenda even more than white evangelicals. I believe the 21st century will see a multi-ethnic firewall and advocacy of life like we've never seen before. This is the civil rights issue of the 21st century.
Now, what do you hope to accomplish today?
We hope to do two things. One, convey a message that the ethnic communities will not be stepped on, will not be exploited, to create the largest abortion clinic in the Western Hemisphere, to open that clinic up in an ethnic center of Houston, Texas. It is the most racist and bigoted demonstration that you can ever imagine. We are conveying a message. We will not stay silent. African Americans and Hispanics, because of issues of education, because of issues of social-economic displacement, poverty, we are confronting a number of issues. But we are hereby declaring that we are making life the priority of our corresponding communities. It's a new day in America. It's a pro-life movement no longer led by our wonderful Catholic brothers and sisters and white evangelical brothers and sisters. It's African American, it's Hispanic, it's a black, brown, white mosaic in advocacy of life and justice.
Now, are you planning any follow-up action here in Houston to
We
this?
are following. We want to mobilize over 600 Hispanic churches in the Houston metropolitan area to serve as continual advocates of this pro-life agenda. This is not finished with one rally. Having those that come from California and D.C. participate in the press conference, of course, that's an exercise in futility if this is not the initial silo in a continuous bombardment of truth and righteousness. We're going to do it with love. We're going to do it with compassion. But we're going to share truth and speak truth to those that believe that this is actually helping the community. How can the murder of African Americans and Hispanics help our community?
Do you think you've enlightened the Hispanic neighborhoods today and educated them to what's in their backyards?
I think now they're aware. Many of them were not aware. Now they are aware. We're getting so many calls, so many emails, so much correspondence of Latinos saying, we weren't aware of this. Absolutely. What an abomination, some of the phrases used. What an abomination. And we actually have this in our neighborhood. Hey, for the Hispanics that believe that immigration reform is the #1 thing needed in order to address issues of anti-Latino bias in America, I have news for you. It's not immigration reform. It's this abortion clinic right here in Houston, Texas. This is the centerpiece of all of our mobilization and messaging.
When we return, we'll hear from some of the silent march participants.
Thank you for inviting us into your home. Each week we feature real people who deal with real life issues head on. Some of their experiences are uplifting, while others will break your heart. But in the end, the message is clear. Those who follow biblical principles on the issues of life are blessed. Become a partner with us in providing a positive, life-affirming message to help change the way the next generation values innocent human life. Please consider a generous gift to help offset the costs of producing this important quality programming. You can donate on our secure website at facinglife.tv or by calling the phone number on your screen during normal business hours. Together, we can make a real difference for life.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.
Bound for Life is made up of people of all ages, but Matt and Leah have found some of their most dedicated participants are young people. They've discovered it's young adults who are taking the strongest stand, something they find extremely encouraging because they're the future of the movement.
My generation, that term, the prayer movement, I mean, that's not something that existed 10 years ago, and yet it's a very common term among people my age. So they understand what that means, and it's like an entire group of people that are radical and passionate and understand what happens when you pray. So you take, I mean, when we go to youth groups, anytime we go somewhere we're speaking, you can use that term and they're going to understand what it means. You're talking about young people that will go a long time without eating, fasting and praying, not getting up from our faces until you see a breakthrough. I mean, you understand the concept behind that? An entire large group of young people that understand the power of prayer and fasting.
One of the things that the young people have latched onto with the prayer movement is it's activated a whole generation that may have felt like, you know, what can I do? There's nothing I can do to affect any change whatsoever. I'm just a little nobody. But the power of prayer and really embracing that as a lifestyle, it kind of catapults you to the front lines, you know, doing something you never thought you could do before. You know, 1 in 4 of this generation is literally missing. And you can state that in any kind of youth gathering, and like there's a weight and a reality that sets in that suddenly they realize that there's something that's against them, that there's an agenda, that there's a plan that's been designed against their generation, and that's motivating.
On the tape was the word Vida or life, worn in memory of unborn babies who have no voice. During the march, I got a chance to catch up with some of the young adults who were taking a stand for life. Their enthusiasm and motivation gives hope to the future of the pro-life movement. Tell me, what's your name?
Trisha.
Trisha? Trisha, why are you here?
To support pro-life.
Yeah. So, what's so bad about abortion?
It's killing God's children.
And you're here to stop it?
Yes.
Do you think you can make a difference, one little girl like you?
Well, with the help from my friends, family.
So are you all going to help her stop abortion?
Yeah!
So how are you going to do that?
Oh, we'll yell really loud. Yeah!
What's the big deal if there's abortion, if these babies are going to be unwanted?
Well, because it's God's children. You shouldn't have the choice to kill other people. It's not up to you.
So what's so bad? If one baby dies, that's just less unwanted babies, right?
No, that's a life that could have been that we've killed and taken away from it. It's murder.
So what do you think one person can do like yourself?
Well, what we're here to do is, this event is called The Call, and we're here to pray and fast. It's not a protest, it's a prayer movement. So we're praying and fasting and standing in the gap because the history belongs to the intercessors, and we're here to intercede.
Do you see yourself as an abortion survivor since you were born after Roe?
In a lot of ways I do. The doctors wanted my parents to abort me because they said I was dead. But my parents didn't receive that all my life. And they found a Christian doctor who stood with them in prayer, and praise God, I'm here today.
It looks like the doctors were wrong that you weren't dead.
Well, God did some miracles in me, so praise God.
Do you think the adults are going to listen to you guys?
I think they will, because we're standing here for something we strongly believe in, something that we really, in our hearts, we know that it's wrong. It's murder, and we're here fighting for the lives of those who cannot speak for themselves. If I was in somebody's wound, and I would want somebody out there fighting for my life when I can't speak.
Hey, so all together, let me hear your enthusiasm for the babies today, huh? In a moment, we'll hear what you can do to continue the efforts started in Houston.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.
The amazing events that took place in Houston are just the beginning of a larger effort by Reverend Samuel Rodriguez to mobilize minority communities against the abortion industry. As we've seen, prayer and silence can have a powerful impact and profound influence.